Good evening, everyone. It being the 3 minutes past 6, I'll declare this meeting open. The Town of Bassendean acknowledges the past and present traditional owners of the land on which we gather to conduct this meeting and pays its respects to their elders, both past and present. Attendances and apologies. We have Councillor Renee McLennan, who is an apology for tonight. And do we have any other apologies for tonight? No. Declarations of interest. Do we have any councillors with a declaration of interest for tonight? No? Okay. Announcements. I have one announcement for tonight. The community consultation is currently underway for the draft point reserve plans. I would encourage residents to go into the town's website to see the various options for these plans and to then fill out the survey. Hard copies are available from the town's library and reception. Simply ask the staff and they will provide you with a hard copy. We have no members of the public in the gallery tonight, and I don't believe we've received any statements or public questions tonight. So there are no deputations tonight? No? Okay. So with that, councillors, we will move straight on to reports. The first report is 9.1 Heritage Conservation Notice for 1 River Street, Bassendean. So I would ask Ms. Shaw to give us a summary of that particular item.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Council most recently issued the Heritage Conservation Notice back in August 2021. A Heritage Conservation Notice effectively requires the property owner to undertake certain works to the property to ensure that the heritage values of the place are maintained. Recently, the property has changed hands, and in accordance with the regulations, should council seek to continue with the conservation notice, it's required to reissue the notice to the new landowner of the property. The town's had discussions with the landowner. They're aware of the proposal to reissue the notice and they have no objections to that proposal. They've actually engaged the heritage consultant that was involved in preparing the conservation management strategy for the property and is liaising with them to facilitate future works in addition to the requirements of the proposed notice, which is simply to undertake the stabilisation works to the veranda.
Thank you. Councillors, questions? Councillor Plifka?
Yes, just in relation to that heritage notice, the current owners, were they given notice of that notice prior to their purchase?
I thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Yes, they were, as part of the zoning certificate for the property. They also made contact with the town prior to entering into a contract to purchase the property to see if there were any matters outstanding to the property. And so the town made the now owners aware that there were certain requirements in respect to the heritage listing of the property and that it would be open for council to reissue the notice.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. No other questions, councillors? So with that, we'll move on to the next item, 9.2, Draft Local Planning Scheme number 11. And again, Ms. Shaw.
Thank you. So council would be familiar with the quite extensive history relating to the preparation of the draft scheme, including some of the ongoing discussions with the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage. As a result of submissions received on the draft strategy, which is currently with the West Australian Planning Commission for final approval, the town has made some relatively minor amendments to the draft scheme, which are detailed in the report. Councillors have also previously been provided with a copy of changes from the July 2022 version of the draft strategy that's previously been considered. The modifications, as I mentioned, are quite minor in nature, but they primarily relate to the creation of a special control area for flood-prone land, which is at the request of the Department of Planning, as well as changes to tree preservation and converting that to significant tree register, which was also at the request of the department. There are also some minor changes in terms of land use permissibility and development standards that relate to the future precinct structure plan for the Bassendean Town Centre. And we also received a request through the submission period for a modification to change the general industry zoning around Ashfield to light industry, as well as upcoding some portions of land on West Road from R5 to R20. Should council adopt the draft the draft scheme text next Tuesday, the town can progress to providing the documents to the West Australian Planning Commission, as well as the Environmental Protection Authority and the Heritage Council for consideration, after which time we can commence advertising of the draft document, which will be for a period of 90 days.
Thank you. Councillors, I'll open it up to questions. Okay, we have Councillor McWilliam, followed by Councillor Carter.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was wondering, with the change in the industrial area to allow for light industrial activity, what would that include?
Through you, Madam Mayor, it wouldn't have any changes to any of the existing businesses that were there, but if they were proposing to change their use in future, we would need to consider the future land use permissibility in accordance with the zoning table in the scheme text. So, for example, where you could have heavier industries, like noxious industries, under the general industry zoning, it would be more suitable for things like smash repairs for cars and motor vehicle repairs and that type of business.
Councillor Carter.
Yes, mine's on a question about the changes to Bindaring Park. The lots 17 and 18, 17 fronting Harcourt Street and 18 fronting Anstey Road. Am I right in reading that these two lots, half of which are now, or more than half, the earmarked for public open space, are now or both going to be completely residential? And when did that happen?
Through Madam Mayor, I'm happy to field that question. The current scheme is effectively as per the map contained on page 13 of the agenda. As you can see, in the sort of the northeast corner there of the map in the light blue hash, most of those two sites are under LPS 10 reserved as local open space. The current proposal, which has been current since July, is for both of those sites to be completely zoned residential. So that is, in terms of the question, Councillor Carter, yes, that is in fact the case, and it has been that way since Council's decision of July.
So Council's decision in July was to make these two lots, I mean, I was here in July, was to make these two lots fully residential.
Through Madam Mayor, yes, that's correct. It's open to Council, of course. It's considering the scheme again, obviously in response